great. Any exposure is good exposure, though, right?
A lot of weight on his shoulders.
It's an Atlas. Fucking.
I should move on.
I guess whatever gets him there. Yep, exactly. Yeah, the globe is gone.
She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness, out of grief. It's hard to watch her suffer. I should move on.
Stunning, isn't it? Paintings weren't the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Von Vianen's lidded ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Von Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial.
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow.
If this ewer was a memorial, how did you end up with it?
As the Pharaoh swarm closed in, my homeland's greatest museum gave it to me.
So she is from the
along
Netherlands,
with many
okay.
other works, in the hope that I could preserve them. A masterpiece like this was too important to lose to history. I even considered bringing it with me off-world to ensure its safety.
Why didn't you?
I took a calculated risk. This vault seemed more secure than the unknowns of space. Besides, I thought someday I might return. A long life, after all, has its advantages. Now, lo and behold, here I am.
Crazy.
Exquisite, isn't it?
And Cartman says, speaking of, I wonder if we have any Dutch people here. We have many folks from the Netherlands that watch the stream. Yeah. During my first year of full-time streaming, I actually had a little incentive to sing a song from the musical Les Mis in Dutch. And I had, as a teenager, memorized just I don't speak Dutch, but I phonetically listened to a tape I had of one of the songs and wrote it down as best I could understand what they were saying and memorized it. And then I kind of performed it, and it was terrible and butchered, and a lot of folks who spoke Dutch were making fun of me. So yeah. That video is somewhere on YouTube if you want to go find it.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
Breakfast looks good.
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, You think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
Yeah, you have no choice.
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
Thanks, Marauder.
You shot off into space with them. And lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen...
Incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back, and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's...
I couldn't help it. That's exactly what would have happened there. She literally picks up that apple while she's talking. There would have been a loud... I don't know how they didn't put that in.
Biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that
Look at that bite
would
she took
only
out of it.
suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's do it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence!
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Ogala and her rebels.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes,
Interesting.
he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Then drop your shield. Prove to me that you trust me.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
Maybe.
If you like.
If you like. Whatever it is you like.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information.
Spy.
I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful.
Ugh.
By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
Cartman, thanks for following, by the way. And I like that. If you could pull those muffins out of the game, I would. I know that apple was looking really good, too. You would still consider a spy to work for someone? By the sounds of it, she was an independent contractor collecting intelligence on everyone. Does being a spy imply that you're working for somebody? You're spying on behalf of a government or something, or an agency? Like, you can't just spy on your own? I think you can spy on your own.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were. Certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again. but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now, finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Farzenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
This is insane. Clemency just doesn't want to be considered a spy for watching people's sleep habit. That's true. He does like watching people sleep, and he doesn't want us calling it spying, but it's really what it is.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be, but her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes, though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
Well, she felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
She's calling her Liz. I think they knew each other well. I think we got some data on that earlier in the game. That her and Liz, I think it ended badly between them though, right? I mean, we'll probably find out here in this conversation.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
In the beginning of the game, we saw how Tilda asked for a copy of Apollo for Farzenith. Okay, I remember those logs. She convinced Elizabeth to finally give Apollo to Farzenith, but yeah, it was clear that she wasn't happy about it.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time.
Really?
We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age.
She can just summon
Always
things.
know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
It's always some guy named Gerard. I know, right?
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it?
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much. He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
It's all about that base, no rebels.
Regala's only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hikaru.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside.
So why does Silence want to attack their base? What is his end goal? I'm missing what Silence's end goal is here.
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
Hiding from the spy. He wants Apollo. It's a goal at the end, though you're really not supposed to know till literally the end. Okay.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning, a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To
no
care
thanks.
about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
Okay, very interesting.
First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it.
Damn. Okay.
What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Oh, that's terrible.
Beta, can you hear me? They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long.
Over there, you gotta talk to her.
You should have killed me. No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise, okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
There's whispering going on. Oh, she didn't hear. She's one step ahead of her.
I think it can be done. I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on? As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
We don't get to hear her, no, because she doesn't get to hear her either. She hid that next part of the plan from her.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
Not gonna tell you.
That is between me and my sister.
She called her sister.
Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenakt.
A lobster?
The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise.
Okay.
So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Silence to the table.
Not if. When.
Okay. I like that. Unbelievable.
Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
He didn't say where's Varl. Oh no. She never finished her apple, Skulldrunk, you're right. Sparkwood says, my gosh, this is good. I'm amazed. Yeah, this story is... It's really good. This world that they've created. And you know what, I'm already imagining, let's just assume for a second that there's a happy ending of sorts for this, right? It's a good assumption, right? They fixed the biosphere, and Farzine's defeated and everything like that.
Just to let you know, I'm now...
Shh. You can picture so many different spin-offs and different things that they can do with this universe or with this world, you know? And it doesn't even have to center around Aloy, you know? I don't know. You can imagine they could do a lot with just this setting just being so far in the future, but being, you know, reset in a way.
patched into your focus network.
Great. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making that VR game, which I can't wait to hear more about. I want to get the PSVR 2. Aloy, all Horus combat platforms included EMP cells as part of their arsenals. Acquiring and deploying one shouldn't be difficult, and we'll get to that in a moment. The bigger issue is activation. Barring extraordinary circumstances such as interference from Hades, as you experienced last year, all Horus munitions are inert, deactivated by Minerva's decryption regimen during the 21st and 22nd centuries. To render these EMPs operational, we will have to skirt those efforts. I've devised a way to do so without causing unwanted repercussions, a bespoke code signal that should enable all and only such devices in the vicinity. I've transferred it to your focus. All you have to do now is send it out. A Zero Dawn communications relay should do the trick. I believe you refer to them as tall necks. Oh, it's a Zero Dawn communication relay. How funny. I've chosen one for you that is centrally located. This is part of the story you were telling me about. Now marked on your HUD. Simply override it as you normally would, and my signal will automatically transmit every EMP on every horse within a 500-kilometer radius should come online. On to acquisition and deployment. Horus units manufactured EMPs in their fabrication bays and subsequently loaded them onto their multi-purpose appendages for tentacles, if you like. Because the cells were designed to be detachable, enabling them to be fired or thrown at enemies, their feeding should be quite light. The only way to attain them will be through the air, but it sounds like you already have that covered. When you reach one, it should come loose with a hearty yank, rust or corrosion notwithstanding. There is no need to prime the cell, as they are designed to trigger on impact. Once you have one, all you need to do is drop the target area. I'm sure Regala and her minions will enjoy the experience. All best, Tilda. She had time to write that already, huh? Ancient supply box. You don't say. Wait, what's down here? She's gonna be like, you can't go in there. Where the hell am I in the map? Oh, okay, we're down there. Tilda's mansion. All the giant tentacles machines that you've seen throughout the game were different horses. Yes. Yes, some of them are quite large too. Yeah, the metal devils. There's the food. Oh, don't fall. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What was that? Cyber attack by far-right anti-migrant group Purity Action Europe reversed key instructions to the city new storm surge barriers, rendering them fully open during a massive extratropical cyclone. The resulting flood cascaded through the city in a matter of minutes. This is what happened to her city when she was young, effectively wiping it from the face of the earth. I was one of the lucky ones, recalls survivor Tilda Vandermeer, who was 8 at the time of the attack. My family was wealthy. We had a watertight vault for some of our most precious belongings. My father locked me inside when he went to look for my mother, so I waited there in silence as the waters rose, praying every moment that my parents would return, and they never did. As horrible as that sounds, Tilda was lucky indeed. In addition to her parents, the flood killed more than 100,000 people, including approximately 40,000 climate refugees from bloop, bloop, bloop. Rotterdam. I'm humming Aloy's theme. I was. Do 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 do. Can I not get in there? Yeah, let's jump up there. And we'll go behind us. Boop. And we'll go up here. Boop. I like that she left us a jumping puzzle to do to steal her valuables. There's a metal flower in here too. Oh man. So many things. I stole 2 valuables. That's the Rotterdam one. How do I get to that metal flower? I don't know. All the makings of the next big thing is much ballyhooed exposition from an art historian turned technologist, no less, bleeding edge science, and a great narrative to boot. The application was called YCITT after young Christ in the Temple, a well-known Vermeer forgery. By creating perfect holographic scans of individual layers of painting and comparing them to the vast library of artistic works, it was able to identify fakes with unprecedented level of accuracy. 2 years later, the project collapsed in a chaotic jumble of lawsuits, recriminations, and accusations of sabotage. So what went wrong? Who was responsible? And most importantly, what happened to the underlying tech, which by all accounts was far more powerful than the vaporware labeled applied by disgraced executives? It's funny they give you this extra stuff to learn about her. All right, there's more stuff on that side. I don't know how to get to that side though. Maybe I just go over here. No. I have to go back up. Drop in. Hey, get out of the way, bamboo. So how do I get in there? Oh, not by doing that. Not by messing that up. That plant almost bamboozled you. I get it. I get that. That was good. All right, we're gonna be wrapping this up after I find a way to get these valuables over here. Thanks for watching today. I hope you had fun. We're gonna play some more of this tomorrow. It's just getting so good. Thursday, we're gonna have a 2-hour sponsored segment for Daedalic. We're gonna be playing some more Hidden Deep, which is gonna have an update to check out, and then we'll see what we do in the afternoon. But we're getting close, gang. I can feel the progress we've made. I don't know where this other stuff is, or how do I get to this metal flower? Anybody know? You guys can tell me. I don't know if it's important, but oh my god, I almost fell right off the building. It was off the side of the building? Oh yeah? Right where I was? Somewhere on the beachside cliff. Oh, this is the beachside cliff. Aha. Nice. Nice.
That should do it.
That was very helpful. Okay. There's the rest of her treasures. Just go out here and save it. And then we're gonna wrap it up. So thanks so much for watching, gang. And thanks for all the support. I hope you guys had a blast today.